Hello, friends. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. This episode, we're going to take a look at October 2020 energy forecast for life path number 8. So, October is a 5 universal month, and what that means is collectively we could see influences of the 5 energy. 5 energy is all about change, frequent change, lots of transformation, and usually it's unexpected. Sometimes it can be expected, but a lot of times with this 5 energy, there's just constant change and transformation, and it's usually somewhat unexpected, but needed. And so the best way to sort of harness that energy and move with it is to surrender as much as possible and go with the flow. And so that can be challenging at times for 8s, but it's something that the more you can surrender and go with the flow to these changes and transformations, the more comfortable that you will feel moving through it and the quicker that you'll get to the other side. And so in addition to that, some of the energies around 5s is this energy of adventure, travel, expansion. And so if you can't physically travel somewhere because of your circumstances, this is an opportunity to, take an online course, learn a new language, do something that expands your mind. So if you can't immerse yourself in another culture or another experience physically, then do it through, virtually through expanding your mind. And so this is a great month for that with this 5 energy, this 5 universal energy around. So take advantage of that as much as possible this month. The other piece of 5 universal energy is the need for moderation and balance. And so anywhere within your life that you feel out of balance, this is a great opportunity to sort of rein that back in and find that balance and to live in moderation. And so a lot of times when that 5 energy sort of influences our experience, we can find ourselves living in excess or in an extreme. And so that can be physical extreme, so some kind of addiction or some kind of deprivement. So if you find yourself in any of those extremes, then try to move yourself back into alignment. And then also you could be living in some kind of emotional extreme. So are you overly emotional? Are you allowing your emotions to control you? Or are you in control of your emotions? Or are you out of touch with your emotions? And so again, October is a great opportunity to check in and see where do you feel like you might be out of balance and what steps can you take to move back into balance. And again, moderation is key. So when you feel that living in excess or overdoing it or spreading yourself too thin, this is the time to, again, find your balance, find that moderation. And so what I'd like to do is go through the full month of October. I'm going to break it down into 4 weeks. I know most months or some months have more than 4 weeks, but the energy is fluid. But I'm going to break it down into 4 weeks, and however it comes in for you, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, so if you would like a personalized reading where we look at your personal energies, just book some time with me on my website, and I would love to take a look at that for you. Okay, so the first week of October, we have this energy around compromise, forgiveness, releasing your pride, and sort of humbling yourself a little bit. And this basically what this comes down to is releasing the ego enough to see where the other person is coming from, right? Even if you disagree with their stance, it's finding that middle ground, and it's finding some kind of reprieve and some kind of solace in being able to be free of any resentment, any anger, any hurt from past action. It doesn't mean that you have to allow this person or these people back into your life. It just means that you're finding, again, you're releasing yourself of those chains that bind you when it comes to holding that resentment, holding that anger, holding that hurt. And so this first week of October, you may find you're really kind of going within and doing some soul searching and seeing where are you still holding on to past hurts or past injustices that may have happened against you that you can work to release, okay? And again, that could be releasing actually with that person and working with that person, or that could be just releasing the energy of that and working through that. That doesn't mean that you suppress it. That means that you work through it and you release it and you transmute it. And then you can move on much more lightly. And so there's really this energy around an opportunity for this around the first week of October. So it's a matter of what you do with it. Are you going to hold on to those grudges and hold those people accountable for the rest of your life and hold on to that anger? Or are you going to see it for what it is and move through it the best that you can to be able to release that anger and that frustration, okay? And release that person from that. If it's not something that's still affecting you physically and actually in the moment, if it's an action that happened in the past, can you release it? Can you let it go? And that's not a judgment. That's something we all struggle with, but there's definitely a window of energy to be able to do that this week. That's really potent. And so it's a matter of how you sort of harness that energy and how you work with it. So it's up to you. As we move into the second week of October for 8s, there's really this need for, or this feeling or desire for sort of tradition, this feeling of getting reconnected, and not just physically, but there is this call for getting grounded, like really grounded. But there's also this call to get reconnected to your spirituality, to your faith, to, what makes you feel whole, what makes you feel good, and then also grounding that into the physical. And so making sure that you, as the trunk of the tree of life, that you're healthy, that you are connected to both source and to the earth. And so there's really this need to, or desire again, for that stability, but it may be that you find that stability and that structure needs to come from within before it can come from without. And so again, this may tie into that work that you were doing the first week of the month with releasing anything that's sort of holding you back, but at the same time getting really grounded and really getting back and connected to source, to your higher consciousness, to your higher self, to your spirit guides, whatever the case may be. And making sure that relationship is healthy and that you're grounded into the earth so that you can be that conduit. But there's definitely this feeling of this desire for that stability, for tradition, and maybe a sense of nostalgia for that. And so if that comes up for you, then honor that the best way that you can and find ways so that you can sort of please the inner child when it comes to that nostalgia, in a sense where it's like, even if you have to create new traditions and create new ways to feel stable and secure, that's okay, right? Do what works for you so that you can, again, feel safe and secure. And that needs to, of course, start from within first. So however you find that you can do that, that's really going to be a strong calling this second week of October. And then the third week of October, there's this feeling of balance, like really beautiful, nurturing balance. So it's kind of like you have a little bit of a reprieve and this opportunity to just breathe and just allow whatever may come to come and just experience the experience in a way that feels good for you. And so it doesn't feel like a lot of tests and challenges and all of that. It just feels like an opportunity to follow your North Star being you, and really just feeling very nourished and balanced spiritually, physically. So feeling very grounded and very attached to, again, connected to source, to your higher consciousness, and allowing that communication and that energy to flow. So it's almost this feeling of like allowing those creative life force juices to flow. And so that's really, really beautiful. It's like you're getting the downloads, you're getting the information, and you are the conduit for that energy, and you're creating something in the physical that feels really, really good to you. And that can be around relationships, that can be around career, purpose, whatever. But there's just this very light, beautiful energy around that third week. And I think that it all ties into the work that you do the first couple of weeks. So stay aware of that, stay alert to that, so that you can really embrace and relish that beautiful energy that's coming in that third week. And then we move into the fourth week of October, and we have this energy, and this is something that sort of plagues eights at times. I mean, it does all humans, but it definitely does eights as well, because you guys are such that like workhorse and powerful, just that powerful life force, right? And so sometimes you can be in your head a lot. And so sometimes that can hold you back. And a lot of times what you're holding yourself back by what's in your mind, right? What's the stories that you're telling yourself, or the thoughts that you're having, they're keeping you bound, but it's unnecessary. And so there's an opportunity the fourth week of October to really take a look at what mindset is still holding you back. What thought processes are still holding you back that really don't need to be there, that really are not influencing your experience at all, other than what you allow them to do. And so there's really this call to break free from that, and however you need to do that. And that doesn't necessarily need to be an overnight thing, and that usually is not. It's usually just at first becoming aware of it. And once you're aware of it, then you can work to release it. And so there is this energy around some kind of thought process, some kind of past experience, something that's holding you back, that feels like you're being confined, when in reality you're not confined by it. You're only confined by it in the way that you allow it to confine you, right? And so there will be an opportunity, or could be an opportunity, to take a closer look at those thought constructs that are still holding you back, that don't need to be. And that really, this is an opportunity for a final release of some of those, or at least to start that process to build an awareness around it so that you can release it. Because once you release it, then you can fly after that, right? You can move forward at a fast pace. So again, it's just a little bit more internal work this month, but nothing you can't handle. And again, it's just finding that awareness. And so I pulled an animal spirit card to see sort of what the overall energy for the month was for you all. And you guys got stag spirit. And the picture on the card is actually really beautiful. It's a buck deer, and he's got flowers draping all over his antlers to really signify the divine feminine energy. And then, of course, he's this big buck. And so he's got the strength of the big buck. But so it's really that balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And I really feel like that's going to be a theme throughout October for you, but it's also going to be a really strong theme that last week of October. And so it's like, again, where can you, and I should mention the message on the card, which is really beautiful, is take the lead, which is such 8 energy. And so take the lead, but take the lead in your own life. And so again, it comes back to, where are you allowing, past hurts, past injustices, past whatever, past traumas to still define you, or still define your path, or still define what you're capable of. It's time to really release that, take the lead, take the reins back, and take control back, and understand your worth, understand what you're capable of. Not what you were capable of 10 years ago, what you're capable of right now, because I guarantee that it's very, very different. And so acknowledge that power, take the reins back, take the lead back, and break free from those past hurts, traumas, whatever it is that are still trying to define who you are or what you're capable of. Because if you can release that, you'll see that you are capable of way more than you've ever been capable of before. And so again, the overall message being take the lead. And again, with it being that 5 sort of universal energy coming in and influencing, just try to go with the flow as much as possible with any changes or transformations that come in, because they can feel a little bit challenging in the moment. But it's like, from your past experiences, once you break free from that, you're free from that. And that feels so good and so light. And at that point, there's nothing else holding you back. So you may have some opportunities this month to dive a little bit more deeply into those, whatever it is that's still kind of keeping you bound, or keeping you confined, or keeping you defined, right? So, you get to choose what defines you, and you get to choose what doesn't. So, again, take the lead in that and show the world how you want to be treated. Show the world what you're capable of, So, yeah. So that's great energy for October. Again, it's like there's a little bit, I can see a little bit of work that needs to be done internally, a little bit of releasing any pride or ego that's keeping you from mending any kind of relationships or releasing any kind of past hurts or traumas. So, again, however that comes in for you, but beautiful, really beautiful energy, really transformative energy for October, but in a really good way. You have an opportunity to make a lot of headway here with the work that you do and take the lead. And so, yeah, beautiful energy. I hope it's a beautiful October for you. This, of course, was a general reading. If you'd like a personalized reading, then let's take a look at that and see what you've got coming up. Just book some time with me on my website. Otherwise, I will see you again here soon, 8s. Take care. Bye-bye.